Attention passionate Washington Commanders fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Washington Commanders' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Washington Commanders fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with YOUR, FRINDS, and Washington Commanders FANS. Let's get to the news. Now, folks, if you've been following the NFL news cycle lately, especially the offseason moves and draft buzz, you've probably heard that there's a lot of shifting happening across the league. But today, we're zeroing in on a story that could have huge implications for the Washington Commanders, a potential blockbuster trade that's been making waves. It's not just about any player. We're talking about Travis Etienne, a talented running back from Jacksonville who might soon find himself wearing the burgundy and gold. That's right. The whispers are growing louder. The Jaguars, under their new GM James Gladstone, are reportedly open to trading Etienne, and the Commanders are very much in the mix as a potential destination. This is a pretty seismic development if it comes to fruition. Let me take you back a little. The Jaguars, just a year ago, were in a full-blown rebuild mode, and their draft reflected that. They made some bold moves, starting with that blockbuster trade to grab the number 2 overall pick, which they used to select Colorado's Travis Hunter. Now Hunter is a versatile player, capable of playing both wide receiver and cornerback, and his arrival signals that Jacksonville is serious about building a dynamic, explosive team. But what's really interesting is what they did in the third round, making 2 additional trades that brought in 9 new players, including some offensive weapons that could reshape their roster. Among the rookies, the names that stand out are the 2 running backs, Virginia Tech's Bashal Tutin and Syracuse's LaQuint Allen. Tutin in particular is a fascinating prospect. He ran a blazing 32-second 40-yard dash, making him the fastest running back in this draft class, and he's shown an impressive ability as a pass catcher, recording 50 receptions over 2 seasons at Virginia Tech without dropping a single pass. That kind of reliable hands out of the backfield is exactly what a modern offense needs. But perhaps even more intriguing is the possibility that Jacksonville's front office is contemplating moving on from Travis Etienne. See, Etienne has had a somewhat uneven couple of seasons since being drafted. He flashed brilliance in 2023, showing that nose for the end zone, but overall his efficiency left some questions. Last year, things got even tougher. He saw his touches decrease as Tank Bigsby started to take more snaps. It's clear that the Jaguars are eyeing a shift in their backfield, especially with young talent like Tutin ready to step up. His speed, pass-catching ability, and explosiveness could make him an ideal replacement, or at least a complementary piece for Jacksonville. And that's where the rumors about trading Etienne come into focus. If you look at the bigger picture, Etienne's role in the offense has been primarily as a versatile back, someone who can run, catch, and make plays in space. But with Tutin's arrival and his skill set, the Jaguars might see an opportunity to get value in return, especially considering that Etienne, despite his talent, hasn't quite lived up to his first-round billing. Last season, he was productive, but not as efficient as you'd like for a first-round pick. And with his contract extension looming, it makes sense for Jacksonville to explore the trade market rather than risk losing him for nothing in free agency. Now, this is where the Washington Commanders come into the picture. Historically, the front office here has been cautious but strategic, and they've been on the lookout for that added punch in the backfield to push them over the edge. You see, Brian Robinson Jr. is a solid early-down grinder, a tough runner who can carry the load, but he's not exactly a game-changer as a receiver or explosive playmaker. On the other hand, Austin Eckler, a veteran who's been productive as a pass catcher, is entering his age 30 season, and his future with the team isn't exactly set in stone. So the idea of adding a player like Travis Etienne, someone who can do both run and catch, suddenly becomes very appealing. Etienne's skill set fits perfectly with what the Commanders have been missing, a dynamic back who can help diversify the offense, take pressure off the quarterback, and make defenses respect the entire field. Imagine the possibilities with Etienne in the backfield alongside the likes of Sam Howell, who showed promise last season, and a revamped offensive line. It could give the team that extra spark needed to make a real push for the playoffs, and who knows, maybe even a deep run in the postseason. And let's not forget the strategic aspect here. The Commanders have traditionally been cautious with big offseason moves, but this year, the vibe feels different. There's a real desire from the front office, led by Ron Rivera and his staff, to maximize the potential of the roster. Adding a player like Etienne could be that bold move that signals the team's seriousness about competing at a high level. Plus, with the draft class not bringing in a high-end running back early on, the Commanders might see this as a prime opportunity to strike. A trade now, before the season starts, could give them that much-needed piece for a playoff run. Of course, everything hinges on the trade negotiations, the price Jacksonville is willing to accept, and how much the Commanders value Etienne's versatility. But it's a scenario that makes a lot of sense from a strategic standpoint. The Jaguars, with their new offensive weapons and young talent, might see Etienne as expendable if they believe Tootin or Allen can fill that role effectively. And for Washington, this could be an ideal way to add a proven playmaker without giving up too much draft capital. Now, thinking about the bigger picture in the NFC East, this potential move could shift the balance of power. Right now, the Eagles and Cowboys have been dominant in recent years, but the Commanders are eager to break into that elite tier. A player like Etienne, capable of providing both rushing and receiving threats, could be the spark that elevates their offense to new heights. It's not just about adding a player, it's about making a statement that Washington is serious about contending and making a deep playoff run. The offseason is always filled with surprises, and this one could be one of the biggest yet, especially if the trade happens sooner rather than later. The NFL draft is a time of bold moves, and the way the Jaguars are shaping their roster with their aggressive trades and draft picks suggests they're not done yet. They're clearly in a rebuild mode, and part of that might involve moving a talented player like Travis Etienne to accelerate their rebuild or to gain draft capital. In the end, for Washington fans, it's an exciting prospect. It's a move that could potentially change the trajectory of the team's season, adding that extra layer of explosiveness and unpredictability on offense. Etienne's ability to run between the tackles, catch passes out of the backfield, and make plays in space would give the Commanders a true dual-threat back who can help carry the offense. And if this trade does happen, it'll be fascinating to see how it shapes the team's strategies and their chances in the NFC this year. So keep an eye on this story, folks. We're in the thick of the offseason, and moves like this could define the landscape of the NFC East, and maybe even the NFC as a whole. Whether it's Jacksonville making bold moves or Washington pouncing on a golden opportunity, the NFL never stops surprising us. The coming weeks will be crucial, and I'll be right here to keep you updated on every twist and turn in this saga. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Washington Commanders news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Washington Commanders fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this potential trade? Do you think adding Travis Etienne would be the move that pushes your team into serious playoff contention? Would you be willing to see a player like him come to DC, helping to energize that offense? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the team. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for all the latest Washington Commanders news. This offseason is shaping up to be one of the most exciting in recent memory, and we're here to cover every moment with you. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Commanders.